Hey everybody, it's been a minute. Yeah, I got COVID again, but I'm all better now. I wasn't that sick, but the reason I couldn't make videos is because the kids can't go to school and I had to just hang out with them most of the day, except for the 1 or 2 days that I was kind of sick. So it was just family time, but now I'm back, and thanks to Splinterlands, there was a town hall today, so I can do one of my town hall kind of talking about what they did and let you know what was going on if you didn't want to watch the whole thing because it takes 2 hours. But first, let's give away some deck from the one here that I did a while ago. Let me think. It's over here from 2 weeks ago. I got the names on the wheel, so we'll do a spin. Someone will win 1,000 dark energy crystals, and somebody else will also win 1,000 from this video if you go to the post on Steam. On Peaked, and you go ahead and check it out. So the winner is Amiel-M. So we'll get that transferred. Sorry guys, had a little flub of the mind there, but you know, when you're doing the live spin, you gotta keep it, right? Player. I know 1,000 DEC is not what it used to be, but cards are not what they used to be. And really, the goal of this is to give people who'd like to buy a few cards a chance to go shopping with a little bit of extra money or renting for a little bit of a time, because those kind of things can work out for them. All right, let's go ahead and get into the town hall so we can talk about what's going on. Now, it was nice today because we had Matt back, and Matt really brings the thunder. We all know that he's the one that we want to hear from, but he's not coming in as often because he's a busy guy and he's working on some of the big things. Now, most of the things that he talked about were the ranked rewards and the validators. So those are the main things I'm going to talk about because those were the most important things that came out of the town hall. And then we'll show a little bit of eye candy that was in there. And then we're going to go ahead and review the validator node post so that we can talk about that a little more. I know I'm a little late to the game, but I want to give you my thoughts on it anyways. So if you get down here, you can kind of go through and read all of this, but basically, you know, the way they're looking at this, and this is kind of going to be talked about again when we look at the actual post here, but the idea here is that they sent a whole bunch of very high prices for these so that in the beginning, you know, the people who really want one can get one early for a really good price. They looked at some of the other people out there, and the idea here is to make sure that the game actually has a lot of people running these SPS validator servers. They talked about the problem with Hive is that they don't get much more than 100 people running them because really you don't get paid anything if you're running it and you're not in the, say, top 50. And if you don't have a really popular blog or a lot of friends with a lot of Hive power, you don't get ranked up. We would have had the same problems here in Splinterlands. The top 50 would have been pulled full with people who have a lot of staked SPS, people who make videos like Bulldog, who's more famous, maybe even Luke because he's moving up the world, and maybe me, who knows. I don't know if there's some big accounts out there that like me and might vote for me. But if we're the only ones earning, that's not really great for the ecosystem. It doesn't really drive us to get a whole bunch of validators. So with the licenses, it's going to let you get a certain amount of these rewards split up to anybody running a node with a license. This does mean that anybody out there who wants to go ahead and spend the money can get a license. Now, you do have to be willing to run a node in a virtual server really for this to work out best for you, and that is going to have a monthly fee, so you have to be prepared to pay that. I plan on doing this because I definitely do plan on buying a license. I have enough SPS set aside and vouchers to go ahead and get into the pre-sale if I can, and if not, in the second tranche where it's only going to cost $500 more, I should be able to get one. Hopefully they don't sell it so fast or anything weird happen that I don't get in, but we'll have to see the actual rules. They have said that they will do some kind of way of limiting the sales so that not one person can buy everything, and so that we hopefully will not have any kind of, you know, whale coming in and trying to grab all of these licenses to take up all of the rewards early on from the licenses. Now, obviously, there is still a few months, it sounds like, before SPS validators will be live. And so this pre-sale will be coming up in May from what they have said. And then we will be waiting a few months for them to actually tell us, you know, the kind of server that you're going to need to run, you to get your server up, get the Docker running, get everything running, and then the first day of rewards will start, and we'll start having those rewards come into the people. Now, are we going to have thousands of nodes running? Are we only going to have hundreds of nodes running? Only time will tell, but this announcement did get SPS to shoot up to 13 cents for a little while, and so that was kind of nice. I don't think there's anything you know, they did say it'll be similar to the Waka sale, so it'll be on their site. There'll be a countdown. It'll go live. You'll buy it, and then the pre-sale will end. It sounds like they're going to go from pre-sale into the tranches right away, but there's going to be a certain price based on how much SPS you can get. And so I'm going to do a more detailed post on that in the future. I just haven't done the math yet, and I just really wanted to get a video out because it's been a while. I think it'll be one where we break down the sale once we know a little bit more, and then we can actually break down at what point with this price of SPS is it, you know, no longer valuable at all for you to buy a license. And it might be sooner than people think. I really think that we're going to need to see SPS somewhere in the $3 to $5 range for some of those upper tranches to make any kind of sense when you talk about the with each license purchase, that's less SPS that each person running a node will be earning. Now, they did say one thing to note: I could buy, say, 3 licenses if I wanted to in the pre-sale. I could then run all of those by running one node, and then when licenses go up, since these are NFTs, we'll be able to sell them. So there are probably some people that are going to be looking to buy more than one of these. I know I might go ahead and try to buy 2 if I can get them both in the pre-sale level, but we'll have to see what they do in the sale, if they're only limiting it to 1 per account or 1 at a time, or 1 in the pre-sale and then you can get 1 in the next tranche. We'll have to see if there's any kind of limits that would prevent you. But if people can be buying 2 or 3 in this initial round where they are going to be the cheapest, it makes sense, because if we do get to a place where we reach about the 3rd to 4th price level, you could then sell that NFT for, say, 10 to 15% less than those ones, and that you should be able to sell it. Now, the fact that they said that they're going to have these NFTs right away and these nodes are going to be tradable does mean that there is going to be a little bit of a slower maybe sell of these, because you can go to the secondary market to get them. And that's one of the things that Gala has not done that's really protected their price of their Gala nodes. And eventually, when they finally open up the ability for people to sell their Gala node licenses, we'll see some of those early adopters possibly trying to sell theirs for a lot less. But we'll have to see what ends up happening in that ecosystem and how that plays into this ecosystem over here. They did say rewards for these are not going to be live until Q4. So they're really asking us diehard Splinterland fans to go ahead and buy something again like land and buy these licenses and just wait. Now, I'm going to do it, but I know that there's probably some people that are starting to be like, ugh, I keep being asked to purchase things and wait. And I know that's one of the complaints I have with Gala that's really soured my relationship with them, is that I've been buying things for years with them and those games have not come out. And I hope this isn't something we see happen with Splinterlands a lot, but I really feel like they only have a couple really big things coming up, and so I am willing to go ahead and put a little more faith in them, because they have not done that near as much as some of the other ecosystems out there, where you just get stuck waiting and waiting and waiting for things to come around. As slow as Splinterlands might seem to you, go look at the Gala Games catalog, and only one of those games is in play to earn, and they've been selling NFTs for like all 8 of them. So kind of remember the ecosystem where we are, and that we are kind of new, and there's still a lot of very young things going on. So Matt had a very interesting talk about rank rewards. I had to listen to it about 3 times and really pay attention, because I was like, man, what is he saying here? And it was really kind of something pretty interesting. Basically, they seem to be setting up a system where you're going to want to play the game around 30 times a day. You're going to want to try to win as much as possible, play in the highest league you can possibly play in, and go ahead and use the rarest cards, gold foil alphas, betas, and stuff like that, to earn a certain amount of points for each one of those wins that go ahead and put you into basically a bigger share of the rewards pool for that, you know, for the whole game. And so this is a very interesting idea and a crazy way to change things. Now, obviously, they're going to make it so the ghost cards don't earn you any rewards. So if you use them in battle, you'll earn far less. This will affect a lot of people who are playing in the bronze and silver leagues, because I think a lot of them do use the untamed silver ghost cards, but now we're kind of incentivized to go ahead and go buy a level 1 of those few that you might go ahead and play at level 1 occasionally, because you don't want to be losing any of your rewards. It does, you know, one of the main things that they're trying to do here is they're trying to fix the flywheel of their game. right now bots can be a problem because you can come in and you can buy, say, 100 accounts. All of that money goes to Splinterlands, and then your bots go ahead and run with phantom cards, pulling rewards out of the game. Because phantom bot accounts can work their way up into silver. I run into them all the time playing in my gold Steve account, and you beat them usually, but they win enough games to pull out rewards, and basically they just suck out value of the game out of the game until they've paid off their $100, and then those accounts are just farming them profit. And those kind of bots are not the kind of bots that we want at all. They didn't buy any cards, they're not renting any cards, they're not doing anything special, and they're pulling value out of the game. So this new ecosystem change is meant to make it so that those bot runners would have to go ahead and at least purchase every single card that they wanted their bots to be able to use at least level 1, or go ahead and rent them. This pushes value away from the Splinterlands team and towards the actual players and the ecosystem. But at the same time, that's a better flywheel for the game, because now that 100-person account will have to go to the market and either rent 100 level 1 cards, one for each account, or he'll have to purchase one for each account. And each bot person will have to decide to what to do the same, but there will all of a sudden be a rental market for level 1 cards, which is something that'll help lower players, because they could possibly rent out some of their level 1 cards that they have duplicates of but can't level up yet. But also in the bronze league now, you're going to have much lower rewards, and in the upper leagues, that's where all the bulk of the gold foil and legendaries are going to be. This is because they really want to push you to level up your cards. I've said for a long time in some of my videos, and some of the times I'm with Luke and then with the other players, that Splinterlands needed to figure out a way to incentivize you to level up your cards, because we need more players that want to push their way into the gold league and the diamond league than we need players who are just content to hang out in diamond and silver. And that's because there is a very the cards are built to be leveled up on a sliding scale that increases as you get to the higher levels. And so if you stop at level 4 and you never take any cards any higher than that, you're kind of hurting the overall ecosystem, because you're not taking any more cards out of circulation and burning them into your cards. And so if not enough, you need, basically just to say, if you had 10 players who are playing in silver, they probably would be using the same amount of BCX as about 3 to 4 players who are playing with gold level decks. And so that's the difference there. You're almost talking about needing about 2 to 3 times more players to take the same amount of BCX off the market. And that is not as healthy for the game. I mean, it's possible it can be if we actually grew to that level, but it makes growing harder if we can't really encourage people to make the investment to go ahead and push their cards up into the upper levels as the game continues. And I know that there's a lot of different people out there who say you shouldn't do that, but that's under the current system. I think under the new ranked rewards system, we are going to have it be very important for you to push yourself up into those upper levels. So that was the big things I feel like Matt talked about during his stuff, the gist of what they were trying to get to. There is going to be lots of bonuses to look at in this whole ranked reward system. I'll be looking for when the post comes out that really details it to go into detail in a video. But you're going to have bonuses for being in a guild, bonuses for having big win streaks, bonuses for using gold foils. So there's going to be all these different ways that you can get more shares. And also it's going to be nice because it feels like it's going to kind of change the way that you're incentivized to do your questing, and it should make the game a lot more fresh from what I feel, because right now I feel like sometimes you get into a little rut where you're like, I gotta go ahead and play my quest, I'm getting forced to do this certain type of battle, it hurts my overall rating, it hurts my win loss thing if I try to force it through. I have a feeling they're going to tweak this around to make it so that questing is not so difficult or depressing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now let's look a little bit more depth into the, well, we can talk a little bit more here about this. They went ahead and showed us the Jotun plushie. This one definitely looks kind of funny. I don't know if I'll pick one of these up, but maybe I will, to kind of just have something to maybe throw in the background on a video or sit on my lap sometimes. But it was nice to see that, they're still talking about the next Waka type partnership coming out with that other athlete. Apparently they've reached terms, but they haven't actually got the contract signed, so we should see something about that in the upcoming future. They did mention on the video that they would try to put out a post or have it for maybe the next town hall, where they're going to show us the next legendary summoner, including what his stats will be, and that's going to give us a big hint at what all the legendary summoners will be, and we can really start figuring it out, at least knowing that they should all be the same mana cost. So is it going to be 6 cost summoners, 8 cost summoners? Are we going to have something crazy like 2 cost legendary summoners to replace the 2 cost epic summoners that are going away? I don't know, but time is going to tell, and it's really kind of exciting. That first one is going to be like the one that really gives us a hint at what's going on. Weirdbeard is working on the communities about making brawls a little bit more fun and more rewarding and better, and I like that. They also want to go ahead and get into some more esport organizations and come up with a form of the game that might be a little bit more fun for esports. Really, they were talking about the game needs to support the Swiss tournament style that you see used by some of the outside people, but it needs to be able to run within Splinterlands. That way you can have the game do a Swiss bracket and not have to go outside. And then they need to figure out some kind of way to show the battles in a fun way. And obviously they need to hire somebody that really can break down a battle and really to show you what went into the battle and really explain that and do it in a great way. I don't even know if I have that skill set. I don't know the people that do. I think Luke does a pretty good job, but I don't know who else I would say does. On the questions and answers, I didn't hear anything that came out of there that was really that exciting. They had a big section on bots because people were talking about bots, so they talked a little bit more about how Splinterlands is a decentralized game. They don't plan on banning bots. As long as Matt and Aggie are in control of this, there's no way they're going to ban bots. No, SPS governance comes into play. Maybe you could get people to ban bots through an SPS governance vote, but I just don't see that happening. Let's go ahead and get into the Splinterlands Validator node overview. And here I'm just going to kind of go ahead and talk about the tranches and the rewards. So basically, they're talking about in the SPS white paper that there's 3,750,000 SPS tokens per month going to the SPS node validators. Now, one of the great things here is they're actually limiting only 10% of that to go to the top 20. And so that is pretty cool, right? Let me just double check. Yes, so 10% goes to the top 20, which is 3,700, and the rest of the 3,725,000 go to the license owners. Now, one of the reasons they went ahead and did this at such a big amount is because they imagine that every single one of the top 20 is going to be in this pool too, and so that's why they explained that they made this pool so 90% of the rewards, and the rewards for the top 20 only 375. That means that the top 20 people who are really getting those votes and who are really throwing out their votes, finding a way to get enough people to vote for them, aren't going to be getting like a lion's share extra of the rewards, but they will be getting more than anybody else that runs the same amount of licenses as them. Now, when we get down to the licenses and pricing here, this is where things get kind of crazy. So they're going to sell 2,000 in a pre-sale, and this is kind of crazy to think. If this sells out at $1,000 in SPS and 500 vouchers, then you're talking about the pre-sale, them having to the game starting with maybe 2,000 nodes in place, though that won't really be accurate because there's like me who might buy 2. There's probably a couple people out there who might buy 3. We'll have to see also if they even can sell out 2,000 nodes when the game first starts. I do think that this does burn away a lot of SPS. And this gives us a great use case for vouchers. So the voucher price, last time I checked, bumped up from like around $1 to $2 again. And that's why I've always said vouchers are really good to buy around $1. Anywhere under $1.25, you might be kind of safe because they usually are going to be representing about $3 worth of value. And this was proved again because now you have in round 2 that you can use them as $3 worth of value, and that can discount up to 50% off. So basically, if you were to give 500 vouchers, the same here, that would get you this one at $1,500, And so you wouldn't pay $3,000 of SPS. You'd pay $1,500 and 500 vouchers valued at $3 a piece. And then the voucher discount rate, as we get into the future, this is where it gets kind of crazy. If we reach a tranche 2 and people are still buying licenses when they have to spend $5,000, well, they can go ahead and buy vouchers from you and get up to $5 in credit. This is a way for them to maybe push some serious value into vouchers. Imagine if this game grows to the point where vouchers give you a $15 or $20 or $40 credit towards buying one of these servers. Now, given, like I said, there's a certain level of math and price that if you go ahead and look at how many of these are going out monthly, and so we can just look at it, we'll do the math really quickly on one really quick for anybody that wants to stick around. Okay, so when you start at the top here, we have the amount here. Sorry, I have to find the part with the numbers. Here we go. So you have 3,375,000 SPS per month. That'll be split up between the license holders, right? And so if tranche, let's just say we sell out, we get 2,000 licenses sold. So if you divide that by 2,000, each one would get 1,600 SPS per month. Now, if you go to SPS at about 12 cents, let's say, that would be you're getting about $200 a month, and you spent $1,000 worth of SPS and 500 vouchers to get that license. So you're looking at an ROI of around 5 months at that price. But now if you're at the $1,500 price, and now there is, we can do this again now with more licenses. So there's 3,375,000 SPS per month. And let's say we sell out tranche 2, which would mean there'd be 5,000 licenses sold. So now you divide that by 5,000, and each month they're only getting 675 SPS. You times that by that 12 cents we're currently at, you're only making $81 a month. Now you're looking at an ROI. Let's say if we sold all 5,000 in the first, before we're even live, you'd be looking at it getting your money back. I mean, if you put in $1,000, that would take you, a little over 14 months basically. And if you put in the $3,000 here, that would take you $3,000 divided by $81. It would take you 37 months to get your money back, almost 3 years. So that's where they're talking about the fact that we shouldn't really sell out of tranche 1. Given if it's not really $3,000 if you have 500 vouchers and you got iced out here, you already have the vouchers, so you just turn them in and you take this down to 1,500, and then that cuts that in half. But and so you do have to understand that this stuff is not true to price because of this whole voucher thing and how much cheaper you can get them. But in general, at current prices of SPS, you can't see this going, probably even tranche 1 selling out, because the only way that would be is if there was some giant speculation people were having that in the future we are going to get, say, to this level. Because then you could resell your license for maybe about $8,000 if they were selling for $10,000 worth of SPS. Because people, depending on vouchers and stuff, you'd figure out the number, but you could see you could buy it here for around $1,500, maybe sell it for $8,000 in the future. But over here, to have 20, 40, like 40,000 of these running, and that SPS shrinking down into the single digits or the smaller double digits of like 75 SPS a month, SPS would have to be sitting at a much higher number for that to make any sense. Like, let's say we got to the point where a validator node was only getting 75 SPS at $5. Let's say that would be $375 a month. That would be pretty cool. But we're talking about a $5 SPS at that point, and I have only theorized a $3 SPS. So I don't see us selling anywhere near past these two. So if anybody's told you anything different, they're not looking at the current prices of SPS and doing that quick math on the rewards pool. All right, that pushed this video to be a little longer than I wanted. Congratulations to the winner of the SPS. Go ahead and leave any comment below on the Hive post that'll be going up, and you'll be able to be entered to win the 1000 DEC on the next Town Hall video. Because they're changing the days that they're doing the Town Hall videos, I'm going to try to do my recaps always about a day after. And so just know that you know, you have to make your comment before, you know, about a day after of the next Splinterlands post. Thanks, everybody. I will talk to you later. Bye.